Hello friends and welcome to another episode of Painting with Mr. Bates. As you see, we've got some new equipment in the studio tonight. Um, got me a new easel, a much sturdier wooden easel. So a new easel setup. Can carry a much larger format canvases. Got some new brushes starting off with. Tonight we're going to be working with a much larger canvas that I'm used to normally working with. We're working with a 24 by 30 inch stretch canvas. This is a triple primed canvas. So that's what we're going to be working with. And we're going to work and decide. We're just going to let our imagination flow and see where the paintbrush takes us from there. I've got something in mind, so we're just going to go with it. The colors I have tonight, I have a titanium white, yellow ochre, crimson, orange, and sky blue. So we're going to dive right into our painting. First things first, I'm going to grab a spray bottle of water. I'm just going to mist the top edge of our painting. I want to grab a 2.5 inch brush. And I'm just going to spread that water across the canvas, just like so. Alright, now, I'm going to switch out. It's just water, so we're just going to lay it down. I'm going to switch out. I'm going to grab a 2-inch brush. And I'm going to go into a little bit of the yellow ochre and a touch of the orange. And just mix this in, a little bit more of that yellow ochre, maybe a touch of the white. And we'll just grab a touch of that blue in there. Let's see what we have. I'll go ahead and grab some of that crimson, put in there, a little bit more of the yellow ochre. Alright, now I'm just going to go in and I'm not really going to put a solid color across here. I'm going to come back. Alright. Wipe off the brush here. I'm not going to worry about changing it out. I'm going to go into that yellow ochre. Alright, I'm just going to fit in some of that yellow ochre. I'm going to grab some of this orange. And I'm going to do the same thing. There we go. Grab a little bit more of that yellow ochre. Put a touch of the titanium white in it. There we go. Now I'm just going to go back and forth, kind of blend those colors. Now we'll step back. Now we'll take a look at it, see where we're standing with this. And I think I'm going to grab, let me reach right over here. I'll grab a little bit of my lemon yellow, which is basically just a bright yellow. Let my palette down. I'll grab just a little bit of this lemon yellow. Oh, haven't been opened yet. It's one of the smaller tubes of the acrylics and the tube paints. I'm gonna go with this one. I'm gonna just put just a little bit on the palette, not a lot. I won't use a whole lot for this. All right, and using the same brush, just gonna load up my brush with that yellow, and on the side where I want it, I think I'm gonna pop it right here. Touch that white. Just kind of want to brighten it up just a little bit. There's a little bit more of that titanium white. Now, once again, just going to kind of go back and forth, kind of blend those colors together. Going for a deep sunset look. There we go. All right. I'm going to give this just a moment to dry. I'm going to clean this brush, and clean my palette off a little bit, and we're going to switch up some colors. I'm going to bring in some different colors here, adding some more of the titanium white back to the palette. So we'll add a little bit more of the titanium white, maybe a little bit more of the yellow ochre, and some blues, maybe a little bit of my Rains gray. Probably going to go ahead and put in a mountain scene here, I'm not sure. And we're going to work from there, so we'll be right back. Back. While I was waiting on the majority of this to dry, I went ahead and added in some of the highlights that I want in here. The reflection of the sunset coming down on what's going to be my water scene. I haven't added in the actual water yet, but I wanted that reflection coming in here. So I went ahead and added in that, which was basically the same colors we used up here. I used a little bit of the orange, a little bit of yellow ochre, and some titanium white mixed in here. And then I came in and I added just some, since this is an evening sky, sunset, I added in some clouds in with the sunset, kind of a mixture of a burnt sienna, yellow ochre, titanium white, and more titanium white than anything, and a touch of the orange in there as well. So we're going to come in now, though. I've added my Rains gray and of course the burnt sienna to my palette. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab some Rains gray, put it right here. I'm going to grab this burnt sienna, just mix these two together. Maybe a little bit of the titanium white. We got one living over here. that's still wet, I'm going to grab my 2-inch brush. This one's kind of wet, so I'm going to use it. It's got some moisture in it. And we're going to reach right here. We're just going to grab and we're going to pull. Grab and pull. Pull this way. Alright, I'm going to get a little bit more of this titanium white. Mix over here. I want to lighten this up just a tad. And I'm going to go right here. Alright. I'm going to go back to our brush. Pull. Same thing. Alright. Now then. So we've got a nice little mountain range scene going here. And we're going to stick this brush over here and just kind of go ahead and wash it off. Now what we're going to do, I'm going to lay the palette down here, grab some paper towel. Go ahead and wipe off a palette knife. Good thing again about the stainless steel palette knives, if you keep them wiped off after each use with some paper towel, they're really easy to clean. You don't have to worry about washing them or anything like that. So what we're going to do now is while our mountain scene is drying, we're going to give it just a moment to dry. But I'm going to come in here, drop my water. Alright, we're going to come in here and I'm going to take my water bottle and I'm going to moisten my canvas right in here. Not a lot. And I don't know if you can see or not, but I got some water running down. That's fine. I'm just going to kind of brush down, brush off some excess water. Same thing over here. Brush down, brush off some excess water. And then brush out to the side. I'll dry off some of that brush there. Brush off to the side here. And again, just dry off the brush. Alright, we're going to grab our palette. And we're going to go straight into a clean 2-inch brush. And we're just going to grab some lake blue. We're just going to load up our brush with some lake blue. Come right over here. Tap it in. Alright. Get a good bit on the brush though. We still want to tap it in. We're just going to start right at the edge. And we're going to come across. We're going to stop right about here. Don't want to come all the way to this spot. Just going to come across. And you pull some of that color down. Come across. Just like so. Get a little bit more of that blue. I'm just brushing straight across here. what I'm doing when I pour down here is catching some of the heavier colors at the top, just kind of blending them downwards. And then again, just going across to get rid of those brush strokes. Now I'm going to go to the other side of my canvas, load my brush up again. Same thing, except this time I'm going to come from this side, and again we're just going to stop just short, just shy of our sunset. Alright, going to come in. Doesn't matter if we go up here because we're going to fill that in with some land. Moistening the canvas is really helping tonight. I decided to go back with my water bottle instead of using the gloss medium. To see if the extra moisture would help us out with the issues that we had last night. If you haven't watched that video, last night's issue was our paint was drying really fast. We'll work that moisture in. I'm actually, if you'll notice, I'm actually kind of covering up most of what I did here because it's not blending the way that I want it to tonight. So we're just going to kind of cover it a little bit here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab, let me step back here, I'm going to grab a little bit of my titanium white. I'm just going to touch the titanium white. Get a touch of that blue in there. More of it. And now. Alright, and you see we have sort of a reddish, brownish white going here. So we're just going to cut across, get our paint on our palette knife here. We're just going to come in. I'm going to start right here and just pull in. Come right here, skip, pull. I'll grab a little bit more. Starting right about here and just pull down. We're going to work our way across. a small peak back there in the back. We're just gonna grab a little bit right there. Like I said, we're just working our way across. There's a little small peak back here. And you can make your mountains as long as you want. By tapping. Got a stray bristle going there, stray hair on my brush. There we go. Got a little bit more. So just tapping it in. Now, if you'll notice, my horizon is not a completely straight 90-degree horizon, and I did that intentionally. I want this to seem like that my mountains is going further back into the back, and then we come down closer. Just going to keep going in with the phthalo green. That's the only color I'm using right now. It's just a phthalo green. Blend that off onto the canvas here. You guys hear our little bird chirping in the background. I think she's telling us that she wants something to eat. So our animals here don't think they're animals. They think they're part of the family. They think they're humans. They are part of the family, but they think they're humans. They think they have to eat when we eat at the exact same time. My son's little dog that he has for part of his therapy and service, his little Chihuahua. The little dog thinks that it's supposed to eat at every single meal that we eat at the exact same time. And it has to have a prepared meal. And I'm not talking canned dog food or anything like that. This little dog is spoiled. We actually have to prepare a meal for this little dog. Can't be any dog food. He likes dry dog food for a snack. Can you believe that? The little dog likes a snack for dry dog food, okay? That's his snack, is dry dog food. But at mealtime, it can't be that. It's got to be a prepared meal. And usually it's got to be turkey breast, chicken breast, something like that. It's vegetables. Sometimes I think he eats healthier than most humans do. I'm just taking my angle brush here and putting in a little bit of that blue and titanium white mixture just to give some highlight shadowing effect here on the back side of our mountain. All right. Maybe one day we'll introduce you to some of the animals and some pictures. I'll put some in with the videos. We have our own little miniature farm here. Between dogs and birds and rabbits and miniature horses, we've got our own little mini farm going. And if my son had his way about him, we'd have even more animals than that. I believe one of his last requests was a goat. No, we're not getting a goat. We have enough animals as it is.
Cow.
A cow. The economy doesn't pick up. That might be a good thing. All right, so I'll leave that in. And I may come back a little bit later and touch that up with a little bit of a darker color. I'll place the brush over here. Pretty much done with that one. All right, so I'm going to give this a moment to dry. And when I come back, we will look at how we're going to bring our land features downward. You know, what are we going to do with it? Are we going to bring it in as a full land feature coming down? We'll have decide where we're going to put our trees. We're going to have some small trees in the back. Maybe we'll have a nice large tree in there. But for now, we're just going to step back and take a look at it, look it over, and decide how I want it. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to step away from it, take a moment to look at it, and we will be right back right after this. Hi guys, and welcome back. I'm going to introduce you to this is what I was telling you about earlier. This is my son's little service dog, Thunder. Spoiled rotten, thinks that he has to do everything that we do, has to eat at the same time that we eat, and has to have a prepared meal when we have one. So he snuck in on us while we were in here painting. So I think he wanted to sneak in and catch himself on the video. So say hello to the world, Thunder, and quit being such a spoiled little guy. All right. Just wanted to take a moment. He snuck in, so I told my son, I said, well, we might as well just sneak him in on the video and let the world see who we was talking about when we were talking about the little fellow that likes to come in and tell us how to do everything. So this is Little Thunder, and then we're going to get him away from all the paint before he ends up getting himself in trouble. All right, welcome back. First, let me apologize for the last scene that you watched here. It might have been a little bit darker. My camera light got turned off and didn't realize it until I'd already started in with the painting. But I went back and I've added a little bit of burnt sienna to my palette. And we're going to continue working with the same brush that still has some of the green in it, and that's perfectly fine because we're actually going to be mixing some of those colors together. So we're going to go with the burnt sienna and a little bit of that bright green, not the bright green, I'm sorry, the grass green and the phthalo green. I'm going to mix those three colors together. All right, I'm just going to come in here now, and I'm going to decide where do I want my next spot of land to go? How do I want my land to go? Do I want to go just to keep coming straight down, or do I want to get around it off? So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to let the brush flow. Ever how it lands, that's how we're going to place our land. All right, so we're going to start. We'll start right about in here, and we're just going to tap in some of the color here. Now I went kind of heavy on my brush because I want to kind of lay in a good bit of paint onto my canvas. We'll grab a little bit more of the same colors. like a little bit of a protrusion of land coming out right here. Just a little peninsula sticking out. A little small one maybe. Alright. Now I'm going with this darker color. Again, you know, I like to put that as my undertone to give us some earth tone colors coming in. Some brown. Alright, now I'm just going to kind of use some brush strokes here to kind of brush this in. Now, I'm going to come over here, going with the same colors. I'm about out of my phthalo green, I have to go back and reload. I'll start, I'll start right here. I'm just going to kind of come down with a little small, maybe a little small peninsula right here. Just coming off. This little spot of land coming down. And just kind of keep working around. Again, you can just kind of brush in to the large area here. Back to the tapping, just kind of tap it in. Just like this. Now, I'm going to stop right here. Not going to go any further down. The reason for that is I'm going to come down here and add in a different landmass coming down here. Maybe we've got a river or a stream coming in to a nice basin area right in here. But I want to stop. I need to reload my palette. And I want to clean this brush because I've got a lot of dark colors in it. So I'm going to go ahead and place it in my painting bucket here. I'm going to place my canvas, my palette down over here for just a second. Alright, so what we have is, again, we used a little bit of burnt sienna, phthalo green, a little bit of the grass green to give us a nice dark earth, kind of a ground, make it a lot of the ground underneath, and then when we come back, we'll add some brighter colors into this. And maybe we're going to call this, we've got springtime coming up on us, so I'm trying to do a lot of ideas here with some bright colors. So maybe we've got a nice sunset coming in. We've got these bright colors coming in. The sun is sitting down low, and as it's sitting, as the sun's beginning to set, we've got those bright colors starting to kind of stand out a little bit. So we're going to come in, we'll add some bright colors in, maybe some yellows and some reds to get the indication of some spring flowers popping up in the meadows. Then we're going to come in, we're going to work on our lower land mass here. Like I said, we'll let this be like a river or stream area moving into a nice basin area here. So that will have us a land mass coming along the bottom edge here, maybe even the entire bottom edge up to connecting over here. So maybe this kind of works its way around into the land mass. So we'll be right back right after we take a short break. We'll look at doing this. So it's just going to be a little short break real quick here while I clean my brush and reload my palette with the colors I need for this. So we'll be right back. Hello friends, and welcome back to Painting with Mr. Bates. We gave our painting overnight to dry, and we went ahead and decided to take a break. We're going to come back tonight and finish working on it. So we're going to get right into it. On my palette, I have my titanium white. I have a bright yellow or lemon yellow, a yellow ochre, orange, crimson. We have a phthalo green, grass green, bright green. I went ahead and added a olive green as well. We have our Rains gray, and I went ahead and added back our burnt sienna as well. So we're going to get right back into our painting. I'm going to start off with a 1-inch brush. And I'm going to go right into the burnt sienna. And maybe just a touch, maybe a touch of the phthalo green here mixed in with it. We'll grab just a dab of the titanium white. And I'm just going to come down here. Remember I said we're going to have what looks like, you know, like a river coming in from this direction and then moving into a basin here. So we're going to come off with another little bit of a land feature here, just a small amount, not much. So we're just going to begin tapping in. Now this is a lighter color than what we have up here, but that's okay because we're going to come over it with some brighter colors. Get that, and I may actually tap some of this into the existing land feature. Maybe we got a little bit of a we got a little small peninsula that kind of comes off right here. Alright, we're just going to kind of tap in. I like that color there, so we're going to kind of continue with that color feature there. And just go right back up in here and just kind of and if you notice, I'm not even hitting all over the area, just kind of missing around. So maybe that'll be some indication of some undergrowth. And just kind of tapping in really hard, loading up the corner of my brush here. Then we're going to come in and I'm going to, same thing over here. It's going to you don't have to put these darker colors underneath. I just like them because it gives the indication of earth. I mean, when you go out in nature, you don't see just greens and reds and oranges and yellows. So you don't see just all bright colors. You're going to see some of those darker earth tone colors in there. You're going to see the soil, the dirt. There's going to be spots of areas like that. So this gives me a feel of true nature. This gives me a feel that we actually have some earth underneath this, and it's not just a random painting. It's truly a representation of nature. And I'm not going to worry about if I hit all areas because, again, in nature, some of that stuff bleeds through. You see some of the dirt, some of the soil bleeding through. Going a little bit lighter now with some of these colors, just kind of tapping in some different colors. I'm still using the greens. But I'm kind of mixing in a little bit of that olive green there to give me some brighter spring colors coming in. I know you're saying, well, you just put that on there, and now you just went right over it, but that's okay because it blends it. It allows them to work together. We're going to try something new today. I'm working on some different trees. I'm going to try something new today here in just a little bit. We're going to possibly work on some new ways of doing trees. That should be interesting. Get some of those brighter colors down on this lower spot of land down here. hit and miss. Just scatter them around. Grab a little bit of this orange and the crimson and touch of the yellow in with that. And we'll come back and do the same thing. Just kind of dot it around. Alright. I'm going to place that brush over. And now we're going to grab our small number 2 fan brush. That's this one right here, number 2 fan brush. I'm going to grab it. I'm going to come in, I'm going to grab some of this grass green and some of this bright green. I'm just going to load up my brush. I'm going to get a lot of paint. Just kind of load it up, fill those bristles full of paint. Maybe grab a touch of that Rains Gray in there. I'm going to load up my brush, get it loaded with paint. And then I'm going to come in, I'm going to decide where I want a little tree at. And maybe we're just going to put a little indication of a tree right here. It's off in the distance, you can't hardly see it. Got a little small tree there. And maybe it's got a little bigger friend right here. Again, it's off in the distance, so you can't hardly see it that well. I'll get a little bit of that olive green mixture going there, mix in with it. And maybe we've got one right about here. Maybe it's a little bit bigger. Right here. A little bit darker green here. Just like that. Alright, now I'll wipe off the old fan brush a little bit here. And I'm going to decide, do I want one over here on this side? It looks lonely. That side of it looks empty. So I think we're going to put one over there. I'm going to get a touch of that Rains Gray and mix in with our green colors here. Again, I'm going to load up my brush. And I'm going to come, I think I'm going to come right about here. Maybe we've got one right here. Alright. I'm going to get a little bit of this olive green and just a touch of that bright green. And now we're going to come back and we're going to put a little bit of highlighting. about to utilize one of my new brushes. I just bought me a new fan brush. It's another number 2. It's a much stiffer, higher quality bristle. So I'm about to try this one out tonight. Now, working on one of my newer designs, so I'm going to load up just one side only of a mixture of burnt sienna, Rains Gray, and I've added in some of the gloss medium to give me some fluid movement. And then over here I have a mixture of the titanium white and the burnt sienna and a little bit of the gloss medium. And I'm going to load up the other side of the brush with that. Alright, so now I have my brush loaded up, one side with this mixture, the other side with that mixture. So 2 sides. I'm going to decide which direction my light's coming from, and I think my light's going to be coming in more from this direction, so my lighter side to this side. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to decide where I want my tree to be. So I'm going to have one, maybe I've got one right about here, so I'm just going to lay in. There we go. A little bit more to paint on the brush. And maybe just like that. Yeah, maybe it's got a friend, a little small friend right here beside it. Load my brush up a little bit more. And then, maybe there's a branch coming off the side here. Something we can't really, the tree's coming off and it's just a branch reaching off. I'll keep loading up my brush here. And just going to lay in, maybe we got one more. We got one more nice size one right here. By double loading or loading up the brush from both sides, we're able to take care of the highlights all at the same time. Alright, so we got that laid in. I think we're going to leave this side over here as just like a little open field, and our main trees be in this section right in here. So I might add maybe one more, maybe we'll get one more little branch going here. Dip into those same colors. I'm just going to kind of roll the brush. And then maybe we'll come in here and get some little small, just some little small branches coming off. Nothing big. I'm going back in with my fan brush here. Cleaned off my palette, and we've got just the Rains Gray, bright green, a little bit of the grass green left, phthalo green. I added back some olive green. I have a little bit of the gloss medium, which I'm going to use right here. And then we have some titanium white that we'll use in just a few moments to finish up with. So I'm just going to mix in just a tad of the Rains Gray mixed in with the phthalo green, and using that gloss medium. I just want to get a good coating on my brush. Load my fan brush up here. I'm just going to go in. I'm just going to start over here and just going to kind of just tap in with a kind of a pushing upward. Just like so. Going with the darker color underneath, and then we're going to come back and add some highlights. Some undergrowth underneath here. So. All right, I'm going to grab a little bit of that olive green mixture here, add to it. And we're just going to come back and just going to tap around, add in a little bit of color, a little bit of highlighting. Don't want to completely cover up because we want to see some of that darkness to go shadowing there. Cut in a little bit of waterline. Not going to do too much with reflections today since this is a sunset, so really you wouldn't be seeing maybe not a whole lot of reflections with the sunset. Just kind of using just a back and forth little brushing motion here with the fan brush, just kind of cut in some water line coming up on the shoreline here. And then I'm just going to kind of just get the indication of some moving water. Might have been a little heavy in a couple of places, but I can fix that here in just a moment. I'm going to show you how. Alright, I'm going to wash the little fan brush. I'm going to grab a wipe, just a wet wipe. I'm going to show you how to touch that up because this bottom layer of paint is dry. I'm just going to kind of go over the heavy spots. Just like that. And take off that excess paint. There we go. Alright, so we're going to grab our round brush. I'm going to go back into our palette, get a little bit of that gloss medium, a little bit of that range gray, mix it up. Maybe we've got just one little lone bird up here just coming in over the mountain. Oh, maybe he's got a friend over here. You know I gotta have some birds in my fountains. A little dot up here, show one off. Maybe there's one right here coming in over the trees. Alright, not too many birds tonight. And we're going to call this painting finished. So we're going to sign off on it. Come down here. hope you enjoyed this one. This was a first attempt at a different set of trees here. A little bit lighter with some of my colors, a little bit brighter. Went lighter on my birds this time. Didn't put as many birds, but went with a sunset scene. We're going to call this a spring sunset. And I hope you enjoyed this one. Enjoy your painting. And until next time, happy painting, and allow your imaginations to flow freely. I can't even talk tonight. Flow freely across your canvas. Until next time, this has been Painting with Mr. Bates.